Hey everybody, welcome to Randy's Road Life. 4 months with BB Key Group, or also known as Key Carrier. What do I think? What are my opinions? This is honest. I'm not a recruiter for them in no way, shape, or form. I have no reason to lie. A couple guys have, I suppose, have attempted to come over that have watched these videos. One guy had an issue with the lease program here. Now, I need to let you guys know that the owner, his name is Bob. He seems like a young dude. I've met him several times. He's very straightforward. He doesn't quite recommend the lease purchase program they have because he wants to make sure the rates are stable before you enter into that realm. And I don't disagree with that, okay? Because things are a little wishy-washy. And I know a lot of guys, excuse me, I'm cleaning up here. I spilled some water, that's all it was. A lot of guys have this dream of owning their own truck. Look, and that's great. You know, I had that, and I was trying to do that for a time. But companies, man, they pretty much, when it comes down to it, you end up paying them to drive their truck. You take on their overhead, okay? And here, this is really not what it's about. Me and him has discussed this a few times, and I'm not really in a hurry to jump into the lease program. Me and him has discussed it. So, I'm actually very happy in what I'm at. And, I'm 1099, right? So you have to do your own taxes and things like that. They do take out like $40-some occupational insurance every week. No, I average around 3,000 miles a week because I get live loaded and live unloaded on every single load. The dispatcher Calvin, okay, he's very good at keeping you loaded. I'm saying this dude, like I've said in all my other videos that have discussed this company, more times than not, he already has you a load before you drop off your current load. The issue is always with the live unloading and all that stuff is the wait times that these companies, make you wait. Like I was just at Procter & Gamble in Iowa City on my last load here, and I sat there for 6 hours, right? And let me tell you something. This company does do their best to make sure you get your detention pay. I just went over all my settlements, and I've always got paid all the detention pay they said I had coming. All right. Reimbursements, I've gotten all my reimbursements. Emily and all them girls in accounting, they're really good at what they do. I have not had any issues with my settlements whatsoever. Everything that they've owed me, I've been paid. So, it has been the most uncomplicated job I have had by far, okay? The truck is great, I just had a flat trailer tire go down, and dude, man, without a hitch, they sent me to a shop. I went there. Excuse me. And in and out. Very uncomplicated. It is a small company, so some things that you come across here are not like the big companies, like EFS codes and things like that. And instead of sending an EFS code to pay for the tire, they just sent me a cash. They sent money through the Cash App, and they sent me the extra money for the transfer into my account. So I just paid for it myself through that, even though they sent me the money, and I paid for it after I sent them a copy of the receipt. So very uncomplicated, very fast. I have to agree that they really try to make sure that you're happy with how things are going, because if you're not, and you send them a text message, because you have everybody's phone numbers, all right? Maintenance, which is Bear, Bob, all them people. You have all their stuff. And if you send like, hey man, I'm not happy about this, believe me, they're going to get in contact with you ASAP. And they're going to figure out what the problem, they're going to try to figure out what the problem is and what can they do, what can they reasonably do to make a difference, to make you happy. So, but you have to be, in anything in your life, man, you have to be reasonable and you have to have reasonable expectations, okay? So, don't be this prima donna truck driver that think everything has to be perfect. This is the trucking industry. Seldom things are perfect, all right? My text messages actually get read to me while I drive, so it's a feature on my phone. I think it's really great. Sometimes it's like this, it's a hassle. Or I can just toggle it off when I want to. But anyways, so you have to have reasonable expectations. Don't be a prima donna about things. Understand how the industry works. All right, human beings run this industry. Therefore, errors happen, mistakes happen, things like that. Now, the only issue I've ever had, and this is a very slight issue, was the home time I requested a few times back did not go without a hitch. However, they corrected it, and I was home for the amount of days I wanted to be home, and I didn't really miss anything. So that's very important. But when I want to go home, believe me, they're on it. If I want to go somewhere specific because I have to do something, they're on it. They send me there. They try to work with you as best they can, but you have to be reasonable. Don't put unnecessary stress and burdens on the people you work for and work with. It's unfair to them and to you because you have these expectations that are astronomically high, and it's ridiculous. There is no perfect job out here. All right, that's fairy tale land. If you want that, you need to take your ass to Disney World or something and live there, because that's the only place you're gonna get it. Dunkin' Donuts coffee, everybody. I love it. So, other than that, I crisscrossed Midwest to the East Coast a lot. I've never have been way out west. I don't think I've been past I-35. I'm pretty sure I haven't. I've been down to Austin, Texas, Dallas. I just went to Iowa City, which is, not that far. I'm sitting in Galesburg. I'm about to take off here in a minute. I'm on my way to Morganton, North Carolina. I've been to Pennsylvania a million times. I've been in the mountains quite a bit in the East Coast. Excuse me. New York City, Massachusetts, Connecticut, New Jersey a few times. So I've been to PA quite a bit, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. I've been all up and down that area right there. Maryland. So understand the lanes here. The lanes here. I've been up to Minnesota. All right. In St. Paul area and all that type of stuff, in Minneapolis. So understand the lanes are pretty much 35 and all the way over. They don't send you south to Texas a lot because of how watered down freight is through the area. There's a million freaking truck drivers down through there. Companies looking for loads. It's very watered down. Thankfully, they don't send you into Atlanta hardly ever because obviously the freight there is also watered down a lot. But they do get good rates at this company. The rates are pretty damn good here, and I'm actually about to go back home here soon to update my license with a couple more endorsements. So, in a word of advice, to make yourself more invaluable and indispensable, gain endorsements. Gain endorsements on your license, because it makes it to where you can do more. You can accept more loads. Get a TWIC card, right? Get that card. Doesn't, I mean, yeah, it costs a little over $100, but get it. You know, because it means the company can send you into secure places where they don't have to pay for an escort for security. All right, that's what that means. You can go into military installations and places that have medals, you know, and things like that, and that require an escort. So also that, get your hazmat, get a tanker, because not everything comes in a tanker that requires a tanker endorsement. Sometimes you have bins and containers that have a lot of liquid, and so after a certain point you have to have a tanker endorsement in order to haul that, even in a dry van or a reefer. It doesn't really make a difference if it comes in large containers or small containers. A certain amount of liquid will mandate you to have a tanker endorsement. Also hazmat. Look, hazmat will give you a bonus per mile, all right, because it's hazmat, all right. And you have to understand, you have to know what you're doing. You have to understand what you're hauling. You have to be safety conscious and things like that. So keep that in mind. Make yourself invaluable, make yourself indispensable. Make these companies want to treat you like you want to be treated, but you also have to treat them like they want their employee to be treated, or a person who wants to do business with them. All right, this is a business relationship, and this has to work both ways in order for both of you to make money. So a lot of you guys need to understand that. I want to believe that everyone that's on my channel understands this. Okay, you have to understand this. You have to be fair-minded, and you have to be objective, even when it comes to yourself. All right, the hardest thing to ever do in life is to be objective to yourself. Am I being fair? Okay, am I wanting too much from somebody? You know, what are my reasonable expectations and what are their reasonable expectations? You know, you have to meet in the middle. It doesn't matter what relationship you're in. You have to meet in the middle. It has to be 50-50 on both ends in order to have 100%. All right. So at this company, I've received that. I have that. I'm very happy. It's very uncomplicated. I don't have people hounding down, you know, on my neck. I get brokers asking me where I am at now and then. I have all these stupid broker apps. I track my location when I'm on their loads and stuff like that. Also, in the morning, when I'm due to deliver, I'll get a text message from dispatch, and he'll ask me, "Hey, what's your ETA?" That's it. And you reply, "Hey, my ETA is this. You know, good morning, thank you." That's all he wants to know. You know, you don't have people, on your ass. So, that's how easy it is, man. And he's always conscious about when you're waiting to get loaded. Are you loaded yet? Are you loaded yet? Are you loaded yet? Okay, let me call the broker and see what's going on. You know, and they're not just sitting there in offices ignoring your plight when you're sitting waiting to get loaded or unloaded. They're not doing that because they're trying to make money, and you sitting around does not make them money. It might make you a few bucks in detention pay, but in the end, I make more per mile than the detention pay. I might make $30 an hour, right, after 2 hours, which I just made $120, here at Procter & Gamble, just sitting around doing nothing on my laptop playing games. But shoot, you know what? I want to be driving, man. I should be 4 hours further down the road right now than where I'm at. I should actually be I should actually be damn near in Kentucky right now, right? But instead, I'm 780 miles from my destination, where I'm supposed to be. And on top of that, because of where I live in a really interesting lane that when they shoot me back and forth, there are quite a few times I can stop at the house without interfering with my load, all right? So, and it's very convenient. Some of you have seen my video on me driving home, and it's pretty uncomplicated, and like now, I'm going right past the house. So, because it's not going to interfere in my time, my ass is going to stop home for a couple hours, all right? Because I like being around my wife, I like being around my mother, I like being around my son and my daughter and all that type of stuff. So, and that's what I'm going to do today. Even though I was just home, I like to go home as much as possible, you know? So not everyone can do this. So if you do live on a lane, and I do live on a lane, you know, right off 64 and 75 right there in Lexington, I can stop home quite a bit, you know? So it breaks up the homesickness that I get once in a while, because I've been on the road for so long. And there's going to be some updates coming to you guys here soon. And if I was you, I would be very be aware that these are coming, because they're going to throw you for a loop. What I'm about to do. You guys know I've told you there are things that are going to change in my career, and they're about to happen. And I've been working towards those consistently and constantly. So stay tuned for those, right? So, moral of the story, Randy's happy. Thank God I'm at a company that doesn't put me on high blood pressure medications, okay? Because that could easily be the case. I know a lot of drivers go through that. You know, there were companies like, oh my God, you know, it's kind of something, there's always something going on, you know, that just drives me crazy, and you worry, and is this going to be right? Is that going to be right? Am I going to get the miles and this and that? You know, here, I know how this dude runs me. I already know what to expect, and he's very conscious of what you're expecting. You need to tell him, like I did when I got here. My first time was like 2,600 miles. I was like, no, that's not going to work. You know, I had to lay down. I was like, look, I need at least, because of how I'm loaded and unloaded, I need at least 3,000 miles a week. All right? I need at least 3,000 miles a week. And boom, I get it. He didn't try to debate with me or nothing. He said, okay, sir, I'm on it. And it happens every week. Now, when I go home, I know my next settlement is going to be short. I know this. So I have to plan accordingly, and it doesn't bother me, because I already know this is the situation I put myself in, because I want to go home. I know the business. I know what going home entails. All right? So I had to make sure they understand. I was like, look, I don't care how many miles I get going home. I just want to go home. All right? So just load me home and forget about trying to maximize all my miles, because I don't want to miss home. I'd rather be home early than late. All right? So I always tell him, don't worry about how you load me. Just send me home. Right? And they do. They do. I might only get like 800 miles, maybe 900 miles in a week when I go home. But I'm cool with that, because I know, first of all, I know how much I make. I know how much I'm going to make. All right? And I already expect that to happen. You know? So that's why companies try to dissuade you from going home. One, because they're trying to make money, you know, obviously, and they don't want a short week. So they try to pitch that to you. But this company doesn't do that. They don't do that at all. Just tell the man when you want to go home, and remind him periodically, hey, I want to go home. You got me going home at this time, this time, this time. If you want him to maximize your miles on your way home, he will absolutely do it. He will absolutely do it. All right? And with all his power and capability, he will make sure it happens. All right. Doesn't mean it won't go without a hitch, because we're dealing with brokers and live loads and live unloads. So remember that. There's been a couple times where I went home and had to go unload right after that. So like I went home early on a Wednesday, so I took my load home because I knew where I was going, you know. And then the next morning, got up and went delivering a load, came right back home, and I was home for the next 4 days. All right, so I was actually home early. Great, worked out perfect, you know. So, you know, it's a lesson in life, man. It's a lesson in life. And even though some of us are in our 30s and maybe 40s, I don't know how old some of you guys are, but if some of you haven't learned that yet, you need to understand and remember that. Learn this valuable lesson. Not everything is going to go your way, and not everything can go your way, because sometimes you're not correct. All right? Sometimes I am not correct. So you have to listen to reason. You have to be objective. And, you know, and understand that you are dealing with another human being. And it's a relationship you're in with this company. And with any company, you have to put in your 50%. They have to put in their 50%. You have to meet in the middle to make 100%. All right? Remember that. Look, like and subscribe. Go to the Facebook page, League of Professional Truck Drivers. Let's build that page up. You know, post your content if you have some that deals with the truck driving life and industry. I want to see it. I want to hear it. You know, let's build this stuff up. Let's consolidate our knowledge and information. Let's help each other. Let's help the industry grow for the driver, for us. This is what it's about. This is why I do this channel. This channel is not necessarily about me. This is about us, right? So I do everything so we all can learn and we all can grow with each other, because there's a lot of truck drivers that have information and knowledge they need to share. And it's time that you do that. All right? There's a lot of selfish, self-centered drivers out here that just work against you, work against the industry. They work against other drivers. They're very unprofessional. There's so much discourtesy out here. It's ridiculous. It didn't used to be like that, you know, but it is now. You know, the old days are over, so forget about how the old days used to be, because they're not here any longer. It's a new era where all these drivers are out for themselves. But we can change that. The attitude, we can change that attitude. All right? So, you know, it starts one driver at a time. You know, we need to affect everybody else in the process. You know, and maybe some people can be objective enough to see that they're an ass. And they don't have to be an ass, because technically we're all co-workers with each other. All right? We just get in each other's way for no reason. And it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to do that. All right? So let's work together to get to where we're going to go safely and to go home safely. All right? So with that, like and subscribe. All right? Leave me comments. Leave me content. Let me know what's going on. You know, let me know if you like my content. If there's anything else you want me to expound about, I want to know these things. That way I can help you and help me at the same time. Things I could research. I'm glad that a lot of people have liked the reviews I did on the engines. That's actually my highest viewed video. I think that was really interesting. I thought my highest viewed video was going to be about the truck driving companies I've talked about, but it is not. So that is great. So with that, I'm going to bid you guys a good morning. I'm about to get on the road and make some money. I'm going to stop at the crib for a little bit, say hi to the wife and the mom, and see what else I can get to while I'm home. All right? Have a good morning and stay uncomplicated.